Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here, and I'm your host. I've been your host for the last 4 years, and we just passed our 4-year anniversary. I know I keep saying it, but the new site is coming out soon, and it's going to be awesome. We're really close on that. So thank you for joining us. If you've been here for a day or a week or a month or a year, it doesn't matter. We are definitely here to help you get educated on what's going on in the Milton market. So we've got 14 on one list. We've got 3 more on the other. And we start off with this one on Wilson. $245 is the price, which doesn't seem too bad. The plus and minus here is that you've got a private garage. There's one listed in this price range that doesn't have its surface parking. So this one here, you actually get driveway plus garage, good if you have 2 cars. And it does have the electric baseboard heat, which if you run it all the time can get expensive. But I think if you manage it well, it's not the end of the world. It's just something to kind of think about and constantly be aware of. Versus thermostat, gas heat, it's a little bit different. So taking stuff off the fridge would have been a very easy thing to do that would have had a nice effect. And the rest of the house looks reasonably. Even this thing here would have been good to take out. It is the little details sometimes that really do matter. And that's your one full bathroom in the whole house that we're showing there. So that's it. Basically, that's the thoughts. Is one bathroom. I like the fact that it's got garage and private parking, and just watch it with the electric baseboard. But that's what you get at less than $250, and then you've got your condo fees on top. This one on the 4th floor is listed at $268.9. Nice looking floors. They did a good job in showing that nice 12-foot ceiling that you find. That's the front door right there. So you walk in and you've got this expansive ceiling. And so it's a 1+1. They've got a French door just off to the side. I don't know how you'd actually put stuff on that shelf, but it's there anyways. They've done a nice job with their color choices and upgraded lighting and so on. You do have a gym and a party room in this building. And your maintenance fees are $268 a month. So 1 parking spot's included. And overall, I'd say that one definitely gets the 2 thumbs up. Hampshire Way is $345, so this is the Bristol on Main, which is very similar to the Maple Crossing one we just saw. To me, the area has a lot of stuff. There's a lot of density happening in this area, so it can be hard, for example, for visitors to find a parking spot on the weekend. But it's got nice finishes. You've got higher ceilings on your main floor here, upgraded countertops, dark cabinets. I think everybody who bought in this particular complex at 165 Hampshire, everyone I've ever seen has the dark cabinets, very similar counter, or like everything just looks the same. So 2-bedroom, 2-washroom, $345. There is a small parcel of tied land maintenance fees. So freehold house, but you're attached to a common element, which is the road. And it seems like it compares to well to what else is out there. My favorite is one on Wetenhall, which I'm going to show you in just a little bit. So we've got dairy at $394.9, and so it's a 3-bedroom. It looks like it's got some nice finishes. It's a very nice looking kitchen. This same model backing onto green space sold recently, like within the last few weeks, and they sold for I'll say between 10 and 20,000 less than this one. So it didn't look as nice. This one has better flooring, better kitchen, so we'll see how people interpret that in terms of value. Chuch match is $396. I'm not sure if it's Chooch match or Chuch match. It's on the south side, so the concern I would have is that there's a plaza. Sobeys is coming to Milton, and so this one, being if it is on the south side of the street, is going to back onto that plaza eventually. It's a Bolton model. It's 1,275 square feet. You've got this room basically is the one side and the other side. Then it's got an open concept to the kitchen. There is a finished basement, which is good because typically these models are selling between $380 and $390. We actually have one coming up soon as well, and it's a very, very nice one. Good quiet street. And so yeah, so the finished basement probably pushes them somewhere up in the 390s, but they've sat around. This is a relist, and there's been some other ones that have sold ahead of them. So it might be that those ones have kind of basically disappeared from the market, creating a little bit more demand for what's left, because there was a bit of a flood last week, and then everything sold, or mostly everything, and then now there's not a whole lot for sale in that 375 to 400 range.
Believe it it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beep. I must be out before I pick up the phone. Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home.
Yes, that was the phone that rang. So that's how we roll here on Daily Homes. Cut the video, start us back up again. We got Call Escort here, which is at 409. It's a Croftside model. It's 1360 square feet, 2-car parking in the driveway. And the blue carpet is something that you know is not going to sit well with most buyers. So what we've done in the past is we've actually gotten 2 quotes in, got them in our back pocket. So if somebody asks, it's not an unknown. You're not guessing how much it's going to take. It's very clear. Here, we got a quote on it. This is how much it costs. It can really avoid problems down the road. It's a very popular layout. It looks like it's got a lot of neutral colors here. The flooring looks slightly different upstairs than on the main floor. And you've got about 30 feet in the back. No unfinished basement. So at 409, I think where the headspace is that we don't have a finished basement. We've got a deeper lot. There have been really nice versions of this model with a finished basement selling around this price or a little bit above. Now, is this home worth, let's say, $399 without the lot? Well, there's arguments on both sides. So probably not a bad price given what else has happened recently with those models. They've really kind of taken a bit of an upswing in the last probably 30, 45 days. So Brandon Terrace, 428.7, and we'll go in the home and then I'll give you some context for where it is. So defined front entrance, lots of space above here, iron pickets. You walk down the hallway and then you're walking between these 2 rooms. So you've got this kind of shallow one here with a fireplace, and it's very hard because even if you put a couch here, you're now sort of intruding on that other living area. So you almost have to have a couch here looking over, but then people pass through. So it can be a tricky layout to deal with on this one. And then you've got your kitchen with the eat-in, and then on the other side you have a wall here. So it's not as open concept with the rest of the home. So if you're planning on having a conversation with the kids, they would basically have to be here. They can't be in the other room. It doesn't flow the way that we see some of the other ones, like the previous Croftside. Now, I don't know exactly where it is on Brandon Terrace. Google Maps says it's here, but that's not always true. It's very close to the 401, and eventually this 401 could be 12 lanes. There's a very strong chance, probably in 10 to 20 years, it's going to be. And so whether or not you're still around for that in this home, I doubt. But it's still something where I like where it is. The brick, you got Golf Town, you got the cinema, you've got Premier Fitness. You can go to Sunset Grill for breakfast. Lots of shopping along this row here, Casey's and all the rest of it. So you can get on the 401 easily if you're going to work. The only thing is that constant, never-ending drone of cars on the 401 might be a little too much for some people to take. So this one on Clark is 443.3. It is a moorside corner, nice big wraparound porch, 1580 square feet plus a finished basement. Tons of pot lights in the front room. So the way this one is set up is you've got this long living dining, then you have a kitchen family room in the back. There's laundry up on the 2nd floor. That's your kitchen that overlooks the family room. And I've always found that kitchen is tough to lay out. What some people do is they actually have this as a dining room because it becomes almost like a large eat-in, and then the front becomes the living dining. So very configurable. It looks like they actually have included some of the home theater stuff from this home. 443 would certainly smash the record for this one for sure. I mean, we see semis sell around this price, and I like how they did this little effect where you see the summer and the winter version. Very clever. Basically a very similar angle. Let's see what happens with this one. The townhomes have really crept up, and I think that there is argument for being maybe not that high, but high. Let's see what happens with it. So Mote Lane is 449. 2 cars side by side. They've added this extra little concrete area here. This backs onto Main Street. So we affectionately call these the front back homes because you've got a door here, door on the other side, and yeah, same thing as Brandon. Is just that constant drone of cars on Main Street would be a little too much for me. You can see how it's open concept and how it flows. Nicely upgraded kitchen here. You've got upgraded floors upstairs. It looks like there's an area finished in the basement. They've defined this one as being over 2,000 square feet. I assume that's total living space. I believe it's 19 plus some finished area in the basement. At $450, that's more size than you can find for a lot of semis, really, at this price. But the location is tricky. I do like the fact that you have access to all the stuff near Brandon. Plus, you've got the leisure center, library, GO train, superstore, all pretty much within walking distance. Hemlock is the next one up at $599, and it's on a 119 by 65 foot lot. Sometimes when we see the larger one first, it means it's a corner property. So it might have like a side yard with an in-ground pool. Didn't have a chance to look it up, but interesting thing in the description, it says keep pool temperature at 32 degrees Celsius. That's pretty warm. That's like hot tub level. I don't know if that would be something that I'd be into. I like my pool to kind of be a little bit less than that. So anyway, this one here, there's not really much to go by. Detached double garage, 4-bedroom with a pool. In this area, it looks like it's on the west side. Some parts of Hemlock back onto Thompson. This one doesn't. So as far as I know, it's on the west side. On the inside part of the street. So we'll see what happens. There have been similar homes that have sold in that area around that price, but we have to wait for the photos. So speaking of Old Milton, we got this nice one on Zimmerman, which is actually a new Milton, but it's got a lot like you'd find in Old Milton, like on Hemlock or something. 41 by 113, almost 114 feet deep, whereas if you look at the standard Mattamy, it's about 80 feet or so. And just over 2,200 square feet, a very open concept main floor. So you've got dining plus family, and then you've got your kitchen just over here, and they all mix together really well. Hardwood floors, so it's a very nice entertaining house. Sub-zero fridge, can't argue with that. Nice big bedrooms here. That's the front, that's the master here. An ensuite with the glass shower and a jacuzzi tub, as my friend Antonella would say. Interlock in the front and back, nice patio there. This street, it's interesting, this side of Zimmerman is quieter than the other side. If you know people on the street, they'll say that this side is actually very, very quiet. So the peacefulness, the bigger lot, I think is all working for this one. And when we see single car garages go up into the high fives, we start saying, you know what, nice size family house, double car garage with the big lot at $599 certainly looks good. Lederman is $599, same price, standard Mattamy lot. So this is 36 by 88, and about the same size as the previous one. So you're getting the lot on the other one. This one here, you might get a little bit more modern finishes and a little bit newer. Location is a little bit further west. So this is a Plan 6, 2,301 square feet. Popular choice with our team. We've always liked this floor plan, and yeah, I would say that this one looks like it's priced pretty well compared to what else is out there. There's also a separate entrance to the basement coming in off the side just behind the kitchen there. So that could be a valuable thing for someone. Winter Crescent, $789. This is a Stanbury model, so it's a little over 3,500 square feet. Living dining in the front. There's a big family room with a coffered ceiling here, and it's usually there's a step down on this one. And you can see the looks like there's carpet there, but then there's hardwood in the kitchen, and it's been nicely upgraded and finished. There's an Eden with a nice high ceiling here. This is a model that Mattamy displayed as a model home here. Master ensuite, plus you've got a little area here for like a sitting area or a little bit of an exercise room or whatever you want to do. So nice. You can even tuck your cars in behind. Some people like this model because it feels more private, that you actually go behind, and then there's a little side door that you can actually enter the house, so you're not going through the front here. Very unique home. I like the floor plan personally, but there's some people that don't. It doesn't feel like a Mattamy home. It's very different than a lot of their other models. And then we've got this one on Lower Baseline, which is 1.8 million. It's 14 acres, so you're talking about a little bit over 100,000 an acre. We talked last week about one that I believe was on Lower Baseline, and they're asking 300,000 an acre. So this one at least initially, piques my curiosity. If I was in the market for vacant development land, we've talked about vacant land as needing a larger down payment generally from the bank. And I would say that this one, what I'd be curious about, Mattamy owns a lot right adjacent to this one. Is it possible to develop this? What are the restrictions? That could be a reason why the price is a little bit less than what we've seen elsewhere. But again, that requires some pretty specialized research beyond the scope of Daily Homes. Now, Wetenhall is one of my favorite picks. It's a current model. It's 1195 square feet. And so you walk in the front here. You've got a defined front entrance. Good amount of storage space in this one. Living, dining, and then overlooking the living is the kitchen here. So you can see how it's all set up. I think the photo gallery walks you through this place really well. And then you've got your balcony off the dining area, master with the ensuite, and then you also have a second bedroom. So this one is the 3-bathroom version. So there's 2 bathrooms upstairs, plus there's a little bit of an office nook, which they actually didn't show in the photos, but it is sometimes hard to show that well without it looking cluttered. It's a winner. Definitely, we've seen this model do quite well, and that one's a well-finished one. So Kennedy Circle, not a particularly huge home. What you've got is your entry, and then you've got this area here where you could put maybe a couch and a chair, but there's not a lot of width on this one. And then you've got your kitchen with the eat-in, and upstairs you've got 3 bedrooms. More common to see is that this one only has 1 full bathroom upstairs, but they have added the master 2-piece ensuite. So you only have 1 full shower upstairs, and then you have like a half bath on the second floor right here. So anyway, 373 is a pretty active range, and there's not really many that are out in this range. So I think these guys will do well. It looks like they've taken good care of it. And the last one is this one on Yelenic, or Yelenic. I don't know how you, it's like yogging, as our anchorman friend would say.
Jogging. I believe it's jogging or yogging. It might be a soft J. I'm not sure, but apparently you just run for an extended period of time. It's supposed to be wild.
4,000 square feet, sunflower model. And I've given this model a hard time in the past because I look at it and say, you know what? It's just a bigger version of a 3,500 square foot home. It has all the same rooms. And do you really care if your dining room is 400 square feet compared to 350? Most of the time 350 works for people. So I often wonder if you buy strictly on a per square foot, say, you know, it's 75 a square foot or whatever it is for the house, but I don't know, for me functional space is more important than raw square footage. And I just don't see a lot in this home that really, like that master, really, you've got a good sized bed here, and then you got a lot of space for just stuff, just places to walk. You get further to walk to your bed. Compared to the other sales, we talked last week about the fact that Milton really hasn't had a lot of sales over 750 in the last 6 months. There's been really nothing. I think there's one at 760. So they've started to come out a little bit more regularly. I think as the spring comes out, we start seeing those upgrade buyers. There are people that have bought homes like the Lederman one that probably paid $350 or $4 for it. It's now worth almost $6, and they've made a good healthy profit. So some of those people I could see sort of reinvesting up into a larger home if they need it. I would still go for some of the stuff like on Wetlaufer, 859. Smaller than this, but better finishes, sometimes even green space, and I just see more value in that. I see a more functional floor plan with the upgrades. Personal preference though. So this is just a big box. Not a ton of upgrades, but they've certainly identified $40,000. I guess most of that is probably on the elevation they chose on the outside. So if you have any questions, give us a call, and we'd be glad to help you find your next home. So we'll see you tomorrow with more Milton Daily Homes.